letting go exercise. You may want to pause this and go grab a paper and a pen or a pencil, or you can listen to it once, ruminate over it, and when you're ready, you can sit down to do this exercise the second or the third time around. And before you start this exercise, make a connection with your high C. If you know how to hold on to the maypole, this is a good time to hold on to the maypole, or sit at the feet of your God, your Ishtadev, and make a direct connection with your God. Phyllis Crystal method, for example, can be explained in this way. It's a set of tools which help us connect with our higher consciousness and let go of what comes in the way for us connecting to our higher consciousness. Spirituality, one of the definition is, or sadhana, spiritual practices, is a refinement process. So what happens in refinement? For example, refining gold. In the process of refining gold, the impurities from the 24 karat are removed. Purification process, getting rid of what it is not. You can call it obstacles, you can call it letting go, you can call it what is coming in the way of me, who I truly am, realizing myself. What are my blockages? What are my regrets? What is holding me back? Letting go of my past traumas, letting go of my past patterns. Letting go of anything that controls me. It could be a movie scene or a sad scene or a sentence that I might have heard from my parents or my siblings or my spouse or my boss or my neighbors or whatever that I have learned to believe in, even though it doesn't represent me. Time to let go of that sentence also. Starting from the current moment, current time, present moment, come back in the present moment here and now and feel or think or ask, what is weighing me down right now? What is holding me back? What am I feeling guilty about? What am I regretful of? What am I kicking myself for? What am I angry about? Who is making me angry? How do they make me feel? What is it that I need to let go of that is no longer favorable to me or for me? The sentences can be constructed in so many ways. It all depends upon how they come across to you in your mind. It can be something like, I cannot do this. I can't or I cannot is such a disempowering phrase. It's almost like we have to watch where I use this preface. I can't, I cannot, because it takes away our power. I may not know something is different from I can't or I cannot. Well, with due training, with better understanding, I can, isn't it? I may not be able to do it at this moment. I may not know about it as of now, but doesn't mean I cannot know about it in future. So I can't and cannot is a very negative manifestation phrase, and we need to delete that from our dictionary. But in this exercise, perhaps this is the only time we are allowed or we can use the phrase I can't or cannot. And that also because this is what you say to yourself or think about yourself. Or you hear someone say, well, you cannot do this. Start writing those I cannot do whatever it is. Or it can be phrased as I let go. I let go. I release. See what sentence or phrase resonates with you, what language. And you can use, by the way, your own language. You don't have to use English. Use your own language. Hindi, English, Punjabi, Spanish, Telugu, Tamil, French, Arabic. Decisions you have made that you have regretted. Write it down. I let go of that regretful decision and write what that decision was. Be very specific. This list is private to you. No one knows about this and should know or need to know of this list. When you make this list, you're going to burn it. Freely write it. Close the door. Be in your privacy. Freely write it. Relax. Sit down. And if you're just listening to it, start making mental notes. It can even be phrases like, I let go of the fear. Sometimes we have fear of people, of things. This is a good time to let go of lack of self-confidence. Oh, I cannot talk in public. I'm afraid of public speaking. Write it down. I'm afraid of public speaking. I cannot speak in public. Write it down. Because we're going to burn it. This is a way of releasing, letting go. Not only we can let go through Phyllis Crystal method, but we can also let go through this very simple exercise. Writing down, giving expression. And don't do digital, do it physical with a pen. Because as you write, your muscles are engaged. The muscles of your hand and your arm, which are connected to your brain, and it sends message consciously and subconsciously for a need for you to release or let go. Negative experience at work, anything that makes you powerless. Doesn't matter whether that experience is with a loved one or not a loved one. You write it down. What is bothering you? What is holding you back? Whatever it is that is bringing me down, making me feel less of me. I am not beautiful. If that's what you think of yourself, write it down. I think I am not beautiful. I think other people think I'm not beautiful. I think I'm ugly. I think I'm fat. Write it down. This is a good time to give those words expression, give those phrases expression, because we're going to burn them. This is perhaps the only time it is worthy giving them expression, because you have to bring it out before you can let go and release. You have to bring it out of your system. This is a good time to express your anger in words. I'm angry with this person. This person makes me angry. I'm angry about the situation. Write it down. Not just one situation, could be multiple situations. If your current memory, current present moment situations are exhausted, start going backward in time in the past, in your memory lane. Start opening up those regrets that you have not aired out yet. If you've not given expression to those negative feelings or things that hold you back, the regrets that you have not admitted to, good time to open up that can of worms so that it can be dealt with and released. Your relationship with your loved ones, mother, father, siblings, husband, wife, kids, and so forth, co-workers, Let go of your expectations if you're holding on to some expectations. Let go of those negative experiences. You can even write down, I let go of that negative experience with that person in my family, and be very specific. Write their name. Just remember, your door is closed. No one can read this except you, and no one needs to see it. Someone gave you a negative review at work, a coworker, your boss, and you're still holding on to that negative review. Write it down. This is a good time to let go of that negative feeling associated with that negative review at work. So many of us are afraid to express what is in our heart. Good time to write down, admit that I'm afraid to express. Whatever you're afraid to express, write it down. Write down, I let go of that fear of expressing what is in my heart. Maybe because there were negative consequences in the past, because people misunderstood you, or people did not honor what you had to say, or people used your expression against you. Let go of the feeling of not being understood. Write it down. Letting go of the feeling of not being heard. Letting go of the feeling of not being valued by others. Sometimes some people have self-hate. I hate myself, or whatever that language is. Write it down. I let go of that feeling of whatever that is. We all have negative thoughts, negative feelings, negative emotions. This is a good time and place to let go of all those negative thoughts and negative feelings and negative emotions by giving expression to them in words. Let go. I let go of this. I let go of that. We all have done things that we are regretful of, that we are guilty of, or we feel guilty of. Let go. I let go of the feeling of guilt when I did this at that time. We don't have to confess to a father in a church. I just have to admit to myself only. I don't have to admit to anybody else. Because we connected to the high C at the beginning of this exercise. So high C is already listening, already receiving it. This exercise has already begun to work. Because I'm bringing it up to my awareness from subconscious to the conscious mind. I'm already bringing it up. So I no longer am driven by those negative thoughts and feelings and emotions and regrets. I can release them and free myself to be who I am, to realize my maximum or best or 100% potential. That's perfection. Perfection is not something absolute. Perfection means being perfectly who I am. And that happens by just two things: by me making my connection with my high C, my higher consciousness, my God within, and letting go of anything that comes in the way of me living that potential. So this exercise is the letting go exercise. We all know how we feel when we are constipated. We're just releasing the junk from our life, the garbage we've been carrying. Let go by writing it down. Continue to go back into your memory lane the beginning time of the marriage, the adjustment time with the new person and with the in-laws and all the drama that comes along. Good time to write it down. It's okay to feel a bit anger during this exercise. Anger by itself is not wrong or bad, just know the reasons behind it. It's okay to relive some of those negative feelings and emotions as you are writing them down. It's only natural. Write sentence after sentence, pages after pages. Keep writing. Whatever is coming to your mind, write it down. Don't have to mull over it. Don't have to ruminate over it. The moment it comes, write it down in your expression, in your words, in your language, and your style. At all levels, physical, mental, emotional, or otherwise. Some people think that they are not spiritual enough. Write down your feeling of inhibition. Doesn't matter what area of life. Some people think they're not smart enough. Write it down. I let go of the feeling of feeling dumb, basically. That's what I'm saying. And come back to this video again and again and again and again to listen to it, to write it. You can do this exercise more than once. As and when you remember it, write it down. And when you're done, if you like, you can offer it to your altar. Let go, surrender it. Surrender it at the lotus feet of your God. You don't have to do this portion, by the way. It's not necessary, but you can. And then take it, burn it, again in a safe place. Some people burn it in sink. Some people burn it in their yard. Whatever you feel safe. And not feel afraid that somebody's watching you. Choose the right time of the day or night and right place which is safe and where you feel secure. Let go and feel free. Feel free. Feel free. I love me.